Oh, hey, how you doing? Thank you for stopping by today. You know, I was talking to a friend the other day, and I realized there are some things that we as Christians need to refresh our memory about or learn correctly for the first time because there's a lot in the Bible. There are a lot of things in the Bible, lots. And as a new Christian, or sometimes even as a seasoned Christian, we don't put them all together appropriately. So let's do that. Christianity 101 for the new Christian and for the single, saved, for the saved, seasoned saints. Christianity 101. Let's give it a shot. So I was talking to my friend about God. You know, God is your father. But for a lot of people, we don't get that understanding because of many factors. Some of them nature, some of them nurture. So for the nature part, your biological father would be your example of what a father would be like in your life. Now, for me, my father died when I was 2, so I don't have a really good understanding, didn't have a really good understanding of exactly what a father does in your life. I only had my mom, well, to my knowledge. Of course, my biological father influenced my early years, but really as a person of understanding and comprehension, my mother was the parent that was there. So I didn't really have a good idea of what a father does. I had to learn that. And I learned about what a father does through God. So, a lot of what God does as your father, if you didn't grow up with a father, you won't understand and you won't be able to appreciate. So, if you ask people what fathers do, what are your common responses? They provide for the family, they protect the family, and they also provide the guidance for the family, right? In the biblical perspective. Now, of course, this doesn't happen in every family, but in the definition of what a father does, that's what they do. They provide the spiritual guidance as well. So the father is usually the disciplinarian. He's the one that takes care of guiding the children when they get out of whack or if they get out of line. And the Bible talks about that. Spare the rod, spoil the child. The Bible says a lot about fathers, particularly God as your father. So I'm saying that to say this. A lot of people early in their Christian walk get to the point where they feel like God didn't do something for them. He didn't answer prayer. He didn't bring them out of a situation. It didn't turn out favorably. He didn't save your grandma. He didn't keep somebody from dying. He didn't keep you from a catastrophe. A lot of times we think about that when we think about God, and a lot of people come up with the answer of, well, what's the point? What's the point in trying to be good? What's the point in going to church? What's the point in not doing all the stuff that I want to do that everybody else is doing? What's the point? So there's a verse in the Bible that talks about your reasonable service. It says, I beseech ye, therefore, brethren, this is the King James Version, to render your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable to God. That's your reasonable service. That's a paraphrasing. Google reasonable service and God, and you'll find it. I'll put the verse in the notes under the video. But your reasonable service is key to understanding how we operate in God. So she was saying, all my life I've been good. I've gone to church, done everything right. Served on every ministry I could serve on. I didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't get high, didn't sleep around. I did everything good. So if, when God doesn't answer my prayers, I just feel like, what is he doing? What's up? Why am I doing all this if he's not going to answer my prayer? Well, first of all, God's not a genie in a bottle. First, that's the thing. He's like, I'll grant you 3 wishes. That's not how it works. And then I told her the issue about it that we're not grasping is not smoking and drinking and getting high and going out and sleeping around and serving in the church and going to church every day and tithing. All of that is your reasonable service. That's your reasonable service. You're not doing anything. None of that's for God. That's the bare minimum that you can offer God. That's a bare minimum of how you as a Christian present yourself. A living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto God. That's your reasonable service. And when we talk about reasonable service, that the song about Shirley Caesar came to mind. And not the greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, not that song. Long time ago, she did a song called No Charge. And you can Google it. No, go on YouTube for that one. It's called No Charge. And basically what the song was about is a mother and the son were talking, and the son wrote down a whole list of chores that he had done, and then he wrote down how much each one had earned him and what he deserved to be paid. And he presented it to his mom. And Shirley Caesar put her response to words and to song and said, for carrying you in my body for 9 months, for doctoring you and praying for you, for sitting up with you when you were when you were sick, missing my own sleep, no charge. For feeding you, clothing you, giving you shelter, and loving you and caring for you and giving you affection, no charge. And pretty much that's how it is. God has done all this stuff for you that you don't even think about. You wake up in the morning, you clothed, fed, have shelter over your head. You're breathing, you're in your right mind. You have the activity of your limbs. You go most of your time maybe not being sick. No charge. For not letting the hurricane hit you, not letting your house flood, not letting the tornado tear you up every time it comes by, no charge. For saving your life, giving you Jesus, no charge. So all the stuff that you think you've done to earn God and to make your case about why he should answer your prayers, you can't begin to pay God for what he's done for you. So that's our first perspective on Christianity. Christianity 101. Do your reasonable service. Get to the point where you surrender your will to God's will. Yes, it's okay to have dreams and set goals as long as they're in accordance with God's will. So the big thing that we as Christians have to do is seek God's will. What's God's will for your life? What is it? Have you ever thought about asking, what is your will for my life? Why was I born? Why am I here, Lord? Why did I come into existence at this point in history? What is it you want me to do before I leave this here earth? Ask him and seek him. Seek an answer to that. Because that's the additional things that'll get your prayers answered. Doing his will, surrendering your will to his, seeking him to guide your life in the way that he wants to guide you. Those are the things that get your prayers answered. But all of your avoiding sin and not getting drunk and high, not clubbing and partying, that's your reasonable service. All right? Christianity 101. Stay tuned for the next segment.